Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially hunting season. Forgot to turn on my mic, but it's on now. What do I mean by hunting season? I'm talking about our FBI, Donald Trump and his administration, his DOJ, hunting for corrupt politicians. I'm talking about Barack Hussein Obama, Ouchie Fauci, Hillary Clinton, and now Eric Swallwell. That's right. Eric Swallwell earlier today dared Kash Patel to go and arrest him. And you know, Kash Patel's the type of guy to actually go and do it. Ladies and gentlemen, what has been discovered by Kash Patel and Trump's FBI is absolutely shocking. Do me a huge favor, smash that thumbs up. Subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from today? And really quickly, before we continue, today's sponsor, like always, Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, protect your finances, or just get yourself some gold, silver. This is real money. This is precious metals. I always have some silver. Look, they do IRAs, 401ks. And why do I work with them? They're patriots, they're Trump supporters, and they love you, my community here on YouTube. They'll give you free silver on your next qualifying order when you call or text 888-328-6105. Tell them Vlad sent you. Don't be sad. Hang out with Vlad and you're going to have a good day. Links are down below in the description. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. First things first, I want to show you Eric Swallwell. And then we're going to move on to the big story. Come get me, Cash. I won't be silent. Eric Swallwell lashes out after declassified FBI documents revealed that he was likely source of the leaks to damage Trump along with Adam Schiff. As you all know, Adam Shifty Schiff, you know, the snake with a pencil neck, Adam Schiff, he's being investigated by the FBI, DOJ, and the House Oversight Committee for illegally leaking classified documents to the press. And now it looks like Swallwell, the guy that was banging the Chinese spy, he was in on it too. Newly declassified FBI records have fingered Representative Eric Swallwell, Democrat from California, as a likely conduit for damaging leaks aimed at undermining President Donald Trump, along with disgraced Representative Adam Schiff. According to FBI Zone 302 interview summaries, now in the hands of Congress, thanks to FBI Director Kash Patel, the whistleblower noted that Representative Swallwell has been the source of a lot of leaked information and had to be counseled to be more careful. According to Emmy-winning investigative journalist Catherine Herridge, quote, I have obtained a newly declassified FBI interview summary from 2017 about intelligent leaks from the Russia probe. While the interview subject's name is withheld, it appears to be a member of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. According to the FBI report known as 302 Redacted, noted Swallwell has been the source of a lot of leaked information and had to be counseled to be more careful. I want to see Swallwell in prison next to Hillary Clinton, next to the snake that's got a pencil neck, and many others. But ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, before I show you the Hillary Clinton, this is absolutely shocking. Representative Paulina Luna says that Russia agreed to release the KGB files on Lee Harvey Oswald, claims CIA destroyed evidence handed over at JFK's funeral. So what I listened to the podcast, she went on Joe Rogan and said, so when President Kennedy was assassinated, apparently leading up to the assassination, the KGB from the Soviet Union was calling our CIA and warning that there's a plot to kill our president, that there's an international plot, protect him. Our CIA told the KGB to go get lost. Then at JFK's funeral, the KGB brought a whole file on Harvey Oswald and the CIA destroyed it. They never released it. They never investigated it. They just destroyed it. Well, the Russian Federation, under the leadership of Vladimir Putin, has agreed to give them copies because they saved copies for themselves and they still have them, in the Kremlin. They're going to hand over these documents that they gave 60 years ago at Kennedy's funeral, and then our CIA destroyed them. They're going to hand over copies to the Trump administration. And I won't be surprised if tomorrow at the Putin-Trump summit in Alaska, Putin hands over everything. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, speaking truth to power and being a conservative white Christian male on this platform, I have to fight the algorithm all the time. From the bottom of my heart, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, share this with a friend or two. Really, I'm fighting an uphill battle. Now, let's get to the cream, the butter, all the good stuff. Hillary Clinton. Oh, Hillary, Obama, you snakes. Bombshell. Kash Patel uncovers Obama Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates email ordering FBI agents to shut down Clinton Foundation corruption investigation. Quote, shut it down. So we all know the Clinton Foundation was being investigated under the Obama administration. But no, they had to shut it down. Let's watch this clip together.
Tonight, we're going to tell you about the other Clinton investigation, one that was running in 3 separate FBI offices, New York, Washington, and Little Rock. It was a predicated criminal investigation that was examining whether Hillary Clinton ran a pay-to-play scheme that delivered favors from her perch as Secretary of State, while foreigners and others paid large sums of money to her family foundation, the Clinton Foundation, run by Bill Clinton and their daughter, eventually Chelsea Clinton. 3 separate agencies, 3 separate bureaus, offices of the FBI believe they had predicated evidence to pursue that. Every time they tried to move the ball down the road in the shadows of the 2016 election, they got shut down. I mean, they got shut down at the highest levels of their agency. Andrew McCabe, the deputy director, a man who potentially had a conflict of interest with Hillary Clinton. His wife got money from Hillary Clinton's former campaign chair to run for a Virginia state Senate. And by the way, McCabe attended the meeting where that assistance was solicited. He eventually was conflicted out, but not before he gave the order to his agents that you won't investigate or do anything on this unless I approve it. Downstream from them, 4 different U.S. attorneys' offices under Barack Obama were asked for help by the agents. Agents need help. We need a grand juror. We need to get evidence. We want to move the case down the road. All 3 of those 4 offices told the agents, you're on your own. We will not assist you in your pursuit of criminal charges against Hillary Clinton. And then perhaps the most extraordinary statement in the document that we are going to show you on screen now. They can put it up as you're looking here. The Deputy Attorney General for Barack Obama, Sally Yates, explicitly told the FBI, shut it down, meaning the corruption probes of Hillary Clinton. Think about this. While Donald Trump was out on the campaign trail chanting, lock her up, maybe there was a good reason to lock up Hillary Clinton, he would argue every night, the Obama Justice Department was telling the FBI agents who also thought there might be a reason to lock up Hillary Clinton, shut it down. Remember those words. We have a lot more up for you. In a second, we're going to bring in Senator Ron Johnson, someone who's been instrumental in exposing so much of this incredible, dirty scheme in Washington. But one last piece of note before I bring in Amanda. We have now confirmed tonight there are some prosecutors who have come forward and are willing to cooperate with Attorney General Pam Bondi and, of course, FBI Director Kash Patel, who found this document. He found this document based on some whistleblowers that Justin News had. He went and got it. He has other emails that he's going to be turning over to Congress that I think will further this narrative. This is the beginning, but we told you this was a double-headed scandal. The first part was pursuing false allegations against Republicans. The second was forming a protection racket around Democrats like Hillary Clinton and Biden family and others, Joe Biden himself, when it came to classified documents.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the corruption is absolutely massive. The corruption is absolutely disgusting. And see, no one can get away with lying to you like the Democrats. Now, let me show you this. The Democrats right now are running across the country and telling Americans that Trump is going to rig the midterm election and he's going to run for a third term in 2028 and he's going to rig the 2028 election. This comes on the heels of, if you talk about elections, you're a threat to democracy. You're an American. Watch what Gavin Newsom said just 2 hours ago.
Well, I think it's pretty sick and pathetic. And it just said everything you need to know, the setting that we're under. That they chose the time, manner, and place to send their district director outside right when we're about to have this press conference. Said everything you know about Donald Trump's America. And that was top down. You know that for a fact. They'll deny it, I'm sure. Maybe they won't deny it. Said everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States. I said in a moment ago, wake up, America. Wake up.
Wake up.
You will not have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said.
Let me pause there for a second. Didn't you guys tell us leading up to the 2024 election that if Trump wins, we won't have an election? Why are you pushing it out for another election? I thought you told us in 2024, if Trump wins and Kamala loses, we will not have an election anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, my show is not to just bring the news and to bring you updates and everything that's happening and to keep you informed. I actually watch CNN, MSNBC, the stupid liberals, just so you don't have to. And I take the highlights and put them together. So, you know, a lot of Democrats are going to see this. And then maybe your Democrat friend is going to tell you, well, hey, you know, Trump wants to rig the election. Newsom told us, and you just do what I do. Like, you know, this is why I'm here. I want to kind of give you guys advice. Answer them this way. Answer your liberal friend this way. Didn't Newsom also say, leading up to the 2024 election, that if Trump wins and Kamala loses, then that's it? We're not going to have a country left? Why are they moving the ball now to the next election? Throw questions at him. But listen to what he's saying. He's saying, if Trump wins the next one, not the previous one, the next one, no more country left.
Election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him.
He got triggered by a Trump 2028 hat.
The most corrupt president in history. Doesn't believe in free enterprise, crony capitalism. He is wrecking this country, wrecking the economy. He's a lawless president. Wake up, America.
Sure.
Wake up to what's going on.
So, did you hear what this punk just said? Right. So, leading up to the last election, they told us if Trump wins the last election, that's it. It's over. But what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? The country's still here. We're doing fine. And for some reason, the Democrats just moved the ball forward to the next election, midterms. And then they're going to move it to 2028. And imagine being so triggered by a Trump 2028 hat. Now, this is the last video I want to play for you, and then we're going to break it down. In a bombshell development, DNI Tulsi Gabbard has confirmed an investigation into Anthony Fauci.
Well, I think it's pretty sick and pathetic.
For perjury and his role in funding gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology as part of efforts to uncover the origins of COVID-19. And I said, lock him up.
But the thing that we are working with Jay Bhattacharya, the new NIH director, with, as well as Secretary Kennedy, is looking at the gain-of-function research that, in the case of the Wuhan lab, as well as many of these other biolabs around the world, was actually U.S. funded and leads to this dangerous kind of research that, in many examples, has resulted in either a pandemic or some other major health crisis.
Well, let me ask you specifically, because we already know that EcoHealth Alliance was partnering with this Wuhan
That's right.
lab to do gain of function research.
That's right.
We just have never been able to have somebody say, it was that exact experiment that led to this COVID bug. But have we gotten there? What's the new thing that you're digging in on?
We are working on that with Jay Bhattacharya and look forward to being able to share that. Hopefully very soon.
I bet.
Okay.
That specific
Link.
Correct, between the gain of function research and what we saw with COVID-19.
I mean, that would be extraordinary because just so the audience knows, if that's true, if it was Peter Daszak's research with the Wuhan so-called bat lady that caused this pandemic, then we did fund it. Then Anthony Fauci helped fund the pandemic.
The thing that he denied over and over and over to Senator Rand Paul's questioning.
Well, that's why he needed a pardon. That's why Fauci got a pardon.
That's right, under oath.
Under oath, exactly. So is it any wonder that he sought a preemptive pardon for anything during a certain period of time by President Biden before he left office?
And then strong-armed and smeared people like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, anybody who came out and said, I don't know if that's natural. This actually smacks of lab.
And the reason why this is so important is not just what happened in the past, it's because this gain of function research is happening in biolabs around the world. I got attacked, and I think you saw this, we've probably talked about it on your show before, when I warned against US-funded biolabs in Ukraine when the Russia-Ukraine war kicked off for this very reason. Who knows what kinds of pathogens are in these labs, and if released, could create another COVID-like pandemic. And for that, I was...
By the way, on the heels of the previous video we just watched of Newsom, if you're voting for Trump 2028, comment Trump 2028.
Called a Russian asset, you're, trumpeting Putin's talking points, all of this nonsense, simply for speaking the truth and stating facts that, by the way, are still on U.S. Embassy Ukraine's website today about how the U.S. has funded these biolabs in Ukraine. But my point is, in order to prevent another COVID-like pandemic or another major health incident that could affect us in the world, we have to end this gain of function research and provide the evidence that shows exactly why and how it's in our best interest, the American people's best interest, to bring about an end to it.
All right.
But the thing that
I want to break this down really quickly. I'm going to break this down. So we started talking about, Swallwell. And then we talked about Hillary. Then we talked about the KGB warning our CIA about, the KGB warning our CIA that they are going to try to kill President Kennedy. Then when somebody did kill Kennedy, they gave him all all these files that were destroyed. Now Russia's willing to give, copies to this current administration. Then we saw Newsom whining and crying and complaining. Oh no more country left. And then Tulsi Gabbard talking about in the investigations. How is this all tied in together? Here's how. These investigations are just the beginning. Now, I know a lot of people, myself included, have been feeling really down about why no arrests yet? Why is there no indictments yet? Why has nobody gone to prison yet? And it's frustrating. But ladies and gentlemen, before anybody can be indicted, and I truly believe this after, watching everything, listening to everything, breaking everything down, my opinion is no one can be indicted yet. First, they must prove that Joe Biden was an incoherent president, installed against the will of we, the American people, and his pardons overturned. Because if tomorrow they go and try to arrest Fauci, it's going to get thrown out like this. Why? Because he was pardoned. He needs to be thrown off. Libs, they get banned quickly. So right now they are looking into Joe Biden, his administration, the 2020 election, and the pardons. As you all know, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, they've been subpoenaed to go sit in a deposition under oath in front of the House Oversight Committee and answer questions about Epstein, about Biden, and about many other things. Why are the Democrats freaking out? Why? Because they know that Trump's popularity is growing. The MAGA movement is only getting stronger. They understand for the first time since Kennedy, whom they've assassinated, there's a president that is not controlled by the CIA. We know he's not controlled because we saw what they did in order to get him out of office first time, which was they literally released a pandemic and killed millions of people around the world just to get the president of the United States out. And then for 4 years, they hunted his supporters, his family, him, tried to put him in prison for nearly 1,000 years. So they are freaking out because justice is coming. I truly believe that justice will come. But there's a flip side to it. Time flies really fast. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has been in office for almost seven months. It feels like the 2024 election was last night. Doesn't it feel like it was just yesterday Biden was president? Boom. 3.5 years left. There's a lot of people that need to be indicted. There's a lot of people. So I want to see it faster, and I believe they should move as quickly as possible because sadly, and I say this with sadness, if the swamp is not drained for one reason or another in these next 3.5 years, then I'm sorry. What we put up with the last 4 years, how hard we worked to get Trump reelected is going to be for nothing. Because when I look out into the horizon, I don't see anybody like Trump. I don't see anybody that can run. Yeah, JD can be a great president, but he's friends with Peter Thiel. I don't trust him like I trust Trump. I think he'd be a good president, and I think the economy would be great on him. But when it comes to this one issue of cleaning up our government and giving it back to we the people, I don't see anybody but Trump being able to do that. It would need to be somebody like Trump, who's not in politics, a self-made billionaire that you can't buy, run. That's the only way. And if Trump, for one reason or another, cannot fulfill his campaign promise of draining the swamp completely in 3.5 years, everything's for nothing. Because the next guy that comes in is going to just undo everything with an executive order. This is why the swamp needs to be drained. The more I look into JD Vance, the more I say, oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. I like JD Vance and he speaks good. He does all the right things. But it's how he became Senate, how he, and this is why I say, look at Lindsey Graham. I have no idea. Do you like Lindsey Graham? Tell me, please. Leave me a comment. Yes or no. Do you like Lindsey Graham? Do you think do you think Lindsey Graham is America first? Do you think Lindsey Graham has your best interests at heart? Trump, once again, endorsed Lindsey Graham. Why? I don't know. When there's a candidate a Republican candidate running against Lindsey Graham, who's not a warmonger, who's a Trump supporter, who's MAGA, who does not want to send money overseas, who does not want our children to die in foreign wars on behalf of other nations. We finally took back Senate. Look at the senators in the Senate that are Republicans. They're cowards. They're spineless, most of them. Thune, the Senate majority leader, he's a punk. He is a backstabber. He hates Trump. There's a big problem with the Republican Party. Like we have when the Democrats control White House, when they control Senate, when they control Congress, they stick together like super glue. Even the radical left and the moderates. Republicans don't. When the Democrats controlled House, Senate, and White House under Biden, there's not a single Biden nomination that did not get their job, that did not get the job. Every single person that Joe Biden nominated, they got the job. Every single piece of legislation that Joe Biden wanted, he got it. Now we take back House, Senate, Congress. Trump wants Matt Gaetz. We get Pam Bondi. The big, beautiful bill had to fight for like 4 months for that. How many other people did not get confirmed because even the Republicans don't want to vote for the Trump MAGA policy? I'm going to finish it with this. Trump may be almost 80 years old, and this is a message to politicians, Republican politicians. Hopefully, some of you will see this video. Trump may be almost 80, and he's going to be gone with the wind in 3.5 years. I expect when Trump's second term over to never see him again, because he's going to be like 82. He's got kids, grandkids. That's it. Go live the rest of your life with your family. But we're going to remember you, how you vote. We're going to remember how you act. We're going to remember if you were with the Trump agenda or not. We're going to remember. And we will first make sure your political career is dead. Second of all, we're never going to forgive you. If you, for Thune needs to go. Lindsey Graham needs to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Trump said he's never running for president. He said multiple times. Eric Trump is getting really, really into the crypto world. But when Trump is gone, MAGA is still going to be here. The MAGA train is not going to stop. Trump is the founding father of MAGA. Even way past when he's already with the Lord, MAGA is going to keep rolling, just like our founding fathers. They're not here anymore, but the greatest nation is still here and rolling. Now, so this is why I say we have 3.5 years to really, really clean house, or I'm worried. We saw how quickly Joe Biden dismantled and destroyed everything that Trump did his first term. It was all gone within a matter of weeks. We went from being respected on the world stage to laughed at. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, keep praying for our nation. I've said this before. I've said this before the election and after the election. When we won the election, the battle for our country was not over. It just began. When we won the 24 election, that's when the real work began. That's when the real fight just started. Pray, and I pray this every day when I pray for my family, my wife, my children, my parents, my home, my businesses. I pray for our country. I pray for my viewers. The Lord as my witness. I pray for my viewers, for my subscribers. I pray so that my content is truthful and that it actually has an effect. But one thing when I pray over Trump, and this is very biblical, I ask the Lord, Jesus Christ, to send the spirit of wisdom, counsel, might, and understanding upon President Trump so that he would have supernatural understanding, supernatural vision of how to lead the country, so that the Lord really guides him, speaks to him, to his inner man. Pray for Trump like that, because there is something the Bible teaches us about a spirit of wisdom, counsel, like King Solomon. God said, what do you want? He said, wisdom. And because he had that wisdom, just look up until King Solomon fell away from the Lord. But look, silver was like rocks. There was prosperity and peace for many years. And so let's pray for our president. Let's pray so that candidates rise up who love this nation, who have godly principles, who believe in the Word of God, who believe in the Constitution. That's one thing that we're missing. We need churches in this nation to rise up and raise up future politicians, future senators, congressmen, city council members, mayors, governors, presidents. Hollywood has been doing too much in our politics. Planned Parenthood has been raising up their candidates. The satanic regimes of idol worship has been raising up their candidates. It's time for the Church of Jesus Christ to rise up their candidates and have dominion and influence in every sphere of our society. It is time to really take back our government. And it starts with number one, start exposing. And, according to the Bible, when God comes to clean up, he starts with the Church of Jesus Christ. So first we clean the Republican Party. That's what it means. Before we clean up the Democrats, let's clean up our own party. Let's get our act together. Then when everything's in order here, we go there. And while we are working on this, we need to influence churches to stop thinking about, church is just in these four walls. No. That is where the church gathers. How about now we really start rising up? And guess what would happen? If we really, as a church, as patriots, rose up to the occasion, crime would go down. Depression would go down. Alcoholism would go down. Drug abuse would go down. Rape would go down. Divorce would go down. Abortions would go down. Children without parents, those numbers would go down. Why? Because we now have a generation of people who live by godly principles, who are now influencing every sphere of our society, including politics. So now, next time we turn on Fox News or CNN, it's not that Satan-worshiping Gavin Newsom, but maybe a former preacher, or maybe a missionary or a Bible teacher. Now he's in position of power. That right there is how we go. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Subscribe. Please share this with a friend or two. I'm really fighting against the algorithm. I'm fighting an uphill battle. God bless you. See you soon.